Mabuhay Manila, this is Shadel from ManilaShaker.com, and this is the successor of the Nokia 2.4, the Nokia 3.4. This device is a budget-friendly sub 8,000 pesos smartphone. Its price is 7,990 pesos, but apart from its cheap price, what can it offer to be a bang for the buck device? Let's find out here in the Nokia 3.4 review. There's a reliable increment compared to its predecessor in terms of design, power, and AI process, and we will cover all of it here. So first, the design. The back is still in a matte looking texture and built with plastic but weighs only 180 grams. It still has that solid build just like the older version and isn't just a cheap looking phone. It now has a rounded camera module housing a triple camera and a flash. Below is the fingerprint scanner and the Nokia branding. Holding it is just right but a bit bulky for me because of the body's ratio, but nonetheless, it has a pretty good grip. Around the frame is the power and volume rocker in one location. The dedicated button for Google Assistant is still here on the right side, and on top of it is the SIM tray with dual nano SIM slot and expandable storage slot. Up top is a secondary microphone and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the bottom is the main microphone, and it is now in a USB Type-C port, which is a great increment for compatibility. The speaker is also here, which fires an acceptable sound. It distorts in max volume but is enough to hear the blast inside a small room. On the front display, unlike its predecessor that has a dewdrop notch, the display is now a punch hole cutout, which is an excellent increment, and I think this is the first entry-level smartphone that I reviewed to have this type of cutout. But still, the bezels, especially on its chin, is quite big. But at least it is now a premium looking smartphone, and the Nokia logo is what makes the phone unique from other smartphones nowadays. Nokia 3.4 boasts a 6.39-inch IPS LCD with a resolution of 720p by 1560 pixels. The screen is a bit wider, 19.5 by 9 ratio. The brightness is good outdoors. The sharpness is quite enough. The contrast, however, is a little bit less, but the colors are great. It has true-to-life colors, which is great for productivity. Now the camera consists of 3 lenses, 13-megapixel main cam, 5-megapixel ultra-wide cam, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. There's nothing much about its camera features. It is a bit gimmicky. There's the portrait mode that has a different style of bokeh effect. It also has a night mode and the watermark, which you can personalize to create professional looking photos. It also has a Google Lens, which is a third-party app, but the ease of having it already in the stock camera app makes the camera versatile. Now onto the camera quality. Photos captured from the Nokia 3.4, the sharpness is unbelievably good. You can't deny that this phone is priced just less than 8,000 pesos. It lacks dynamic range in normal mode, so you might want to capture in HDR mode more often, but it adds a saturation while balancing the overall image. White balance on the main cam now detects the right value, unlike its predecessor, which is a great camera update. Well, the ultra-wide, however, outputs different tones. It is in the bluish or colder tone, but ultra-wide captures a decent sharpness but is not as good as the main cam. Also, the corners are a bit blurry, and you also need to turn on HDR mode as well because it sometimes captures a blown-out highlight. Portrait mode is just good. It blurs the background nicely, but feels like there are quite a few drawbacks when you zoom in to the edges. Nighttime photos outputs color leaks when using night mode, but this happens when we are in a very low light scenario. I'm pretty sure that if we get nice lighting, it will output more acceptable images because these photos were captured using only one light source. Selfies outdoors, it outputs a nice true-to-life color reproduction. My skin tone color is just right. White balance is more accurate unlike its predecessor, but it is not perfect. Indoor colors sometimes crash when it detects a wrong color temperature. Overall, if you have a nice light inside your house, colors may be improved. On video recording, both front and rear only record 1080p clip. It doesn't offer stabilization, so the clips are shaky. The dynamic range is just acceptable, but we get blown up highlights while our subject is exposed. The good thing though is the auto exposure is not aggressive. We get a stable exposure which is nice, and it has good colors as well. Now, onto its performance, compared to its predecessor, it is now equipped with a Snapdragon 460 chipset. It has smaller transistor, means that it is more power efficient. Our configuration is now higher, 4 gigs of RAM but with the same 64 gigabytes internal storage. It can still be expanded up to 512 gigabytes via micro SD card. Nokia still has a 2-year Android upgrade and is planning to roll out Android 11 soon on their phones. 2 years of Android support is a promising selling point of this device. Also, the easy navigation on its UI as it comes in stock Android and navigating using the hard buttons are pretty reliable. Swiping down using the fingerprint scanner is smoother than the older version. The fingerprint scanner is slightly faster. Face unlock also has a slight increment in speed. The dedicated Google Assistant button still works well, and just like its predecessor, you can operate the phone with easy gestures and voice command. It offers more FPS and stability compared to the Nokia 2.4 while still managing to give battery efficiency. And talking about battery, even though the battery was a downgrade from 4,500 to 4,000 mAh battery, it has nearly the same result as its predecessor. The free charging brick is still 5 watts though, so upon testing the 5 watt stock charger and a 10 watt charger from other brand, the difference is quite huge. Even with 4,000 mAh battery and Google Assistant running in the background, I still managed to end the day with 15% remaining on its juice. Overall, Nokia 3.4 offers long-term user support, just like its predecessor. Easy access because of its navigation features, and it has reliable increment like the notch, the charging port. It now has an ultra-wide camera, white balance has more accuracy, we get a gyroscope which is a reliable feature for VR and games, and a more power-efficient chipset. This is a budget-friendly smartphone that offers a future-proof user experience from Nokia with good and acceptable performance. And that's the Nokia 3.4 if you're eyeing for a long-term device with reliability and a promise of 2-year Android upgrade. This might be the phone for you. So I hope you enjoyed our review. If you're still here, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us a lot. Thank you guys for supporting our channel. Also, don't forget to visit manilashaker.com for the latest news, reviews, and comparison of this year's devices. This is Ashadel from Manila Shaker, and mabuhay, Manila!